Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm going to look at the top quarterbacks in the NFL draft and determine when I think they should get their first NFL start. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing: who do you think will win Offensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL in 2021? Comment down below. Getting straight into it. First on the list, the obvious choice, Trevor Lawrence. I think he should and will start week one. I mean, he's a generational talent. The Jaguars are investing their entire future into Trevor Lawrence to be the future face of their franchise, and they have good reason to. Like I said, he's one of the most highly graded quarterbacks coming into the NFL ever. He's a generational talent. This is exactly what the Jaguars are hoping for. And there's not really anyone on this quarterback depth chart that they're going to throw in. I don't think Tim Tebow's going to hop back under center. He's going to tight end now. That's not even going to be a debate. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's going to have a lot of success with the Jaguars in the short term. Long term, I think he can maybe bring them success. But short term, there's just too many new variables. Trevor Lawrence is going to be new. Travis Etienne's going to be new. Urban Meyer's going to be new. Defense isn't the best. The offensive line isn't the best. He has a decent receiving core between Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, Marvin Jones Jr., and maybe Travis Etienne. I don't know. He might be wide receiver. Who knows what Urban Meyer's doing. But I just think a new quarterback, a new coach, new running back, I think they're not going to have a lot of success. They're not going to have a lot of wins. I think Trevor Lawrence will perform well, just like Justin Herbert did last year. Justin Herbert had amazing stats, yet he didn't have any wins. I think that Trevor Lawrence will be the same way. I don't know if he'll break records like Justin Herbert, but I think he will have well-performing numbers that will back up his play and his game. He just won't have a lot of wins, and that's fine in your rookie season. I mean, Peyton Manning went 3-13 his rookie season, and I'd say he turned out all right. Now moving on to number 2, Zach Wilson, New York Jets. Similar situation. He's not a generational talent and this highest graded quarterback ever like Trevor Lawrence, but he's still a very well-respected guy that the league respects and expects big things from, and therefore I think he's going to get a start week 1. It's against Sam Darnold, kind of the revenge story, how Sam Darnold was traded for the Jets and now they play the Panthers week 1. I think that's pretty interesting, but Zach Wilson, they're investing in him just like the Jags are investing in Lawrence. I don't think either of these guys are going to have a lot of success in the NFL, at least in their rookie season, but I do think they will start game 1 in the NFL just because there's no real competition in those quarterback rooms, in my opinion, with Zach Wilson, having Robert Salah, having Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, Elijah Vera Tucker. He's got some offense to work with. There's some talent on the defense, Quinnen Williams, CJ Mosley, Marcus May. He's got a team of there's a foundation on that team. There's a specks of talent. I don't think 7 or 8 talented guys on this team is really going to carry them to success. But I do think they're getting there, and Zach Wilson will start week 1, and we're going to see maybe he'll do what Sam Darnold was never able to do. In Sam Darnold's defense, he never had as much help that Zach Wilson already has in his rookie year, but it is what it is. That's not the point of this. I think Zach Wilson, with the help he has now, with a decent O-line, somewhat of a run game, they drafted Michael Carter in the 4th round. Again, like the Jaguars, there's so many new variables in your starting running back, your head coach, your starting quarterback, one of your starting linemen. Corey Davis, he has experience, but he's a new receiver to this team. Not a lot of wins this year, but I do think he will put up well-performing numbers. Moving on, next to the list, I'm going to look at Trey Lance. There's a chance I think Trey Lance shouldn't start this year, and there's question like, what if Jimmy G is winning games? Say the Niners are 7-3 and they're looking like they're going to make the playoffs, or they're 8-2, or maybe they're friggin' awesome and they're 15-2, but Trey Lance is just balling out in practice. He's making better throws in practice than Jimmy G, but just because Jimmy G's winning games, we don't want to move off of Trey Lance. But in practice, you see different things. The Niners, we all see what we see in games, but we don't see the practices. In practices, they think Trey Lance is better than Jimmy G, but Jimmy G's performing well and winning football games and managing the team. Honestly, that's a good problem to have. Clearly, if you're winning football games, but you think you might even have a better quarterback that's not playing, that's clearly a good problem to have. There's worse problems in the world, trust me. The Giants hoping Daniel Jones and the Broncos hoping Drew Lock get together. I think most teams want 2 great quarterbacks on their team, but in all reality of that likely happening, I don't think it will happen. But Trey Lance, I think this is going to depend on how Jimmy G performs and just when Trey Lance is ready. Even if Jimmy G is just, they're doing the opposite. They're 2-8, they're just not playing good. You have to give Trey Lance time and when he's ready. And you knew that when you were drafting him. You knew Trey Lance was not going to bring you success rookie year. If you wanted that rookie year, a lot of people, that's why they wanted the Mac Jones route, because Mac Jones, while he might not emerge to get much better, as good as he's going to be, he isn't right now, so he is NFL ready today. But you knew with Trey Lance, he's going to need time to develop. And to me, you just have to give him that time when he's ready. Doesn't matter what Jimmy G does. Of course, if Jimmy G goes down and gets injured, possibly throw in Trey Lance if he's at least somewhat ready. But even then, you might want to consider a second or third string. I think if Jimmy G goes around, Trey Lance is a clear-cut option. And if he's not, then there's going to be concerns of why you gave it that much draft capital if he can't even be the second string. But another story, in all reality, I think Trey Lance will be plenty good to earn the second starting position or the second string position. And I'd love to see Trey Lance play this season, but I think they're going to roll with Jimmy G. You know, they have a well-rounded relationship with Jimmy G. They want to tell Jimmy G, look, bring us success. And if anything, you raise your stock prices for next year and teams that want you, and you know how your trade value goes and how your money goes and how the demand value and how much contract you'll get with the contract extension. You know, the Niners have a good relationship with Jimmy G, and they're just going to be honest with him. Like, you know, you're not our long-term answer. You're not Jimmy G, but we're going to give you a shot to up your value for other teams and set up your future as well. But Trey Lance is our future, and I think there is a good relationship between John Lynch, Jimmy G, Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance. To me, I don't think he will start this year unless Jimmy G goes down, but if he does, I'm excited for it, and I'd expect it to be late in the season, possibly after a bye week. Moving on to Justin Fields, Chicago Bears. This is a guy I want to start week 1, but I don't think it'll happen. I think the Bears are set on Andy Dalton more than they should be, but Justin Fields, he seems like a competitor. I mean, the quarterback IQ test that came out, something like that, the highest, one of the best ever, or a great score is 100. Patrick Mahomes had 110, just to give you perspective of how good Patrick Mahomes is. Justin Fields, he scored 130. Clearly, this guy is very cerebral and has a lot of talent, has a lot of work ethic, is very smart, and just has pure raw talent. And I think come week 2, 3, or 4, if Andy Dalton isn't even showing any success, just even the slightest, Bears fans are going to scream it in Chicago and force him to turn the ball over to Justin Fields. I would love to see Justin Fields enter week 1, but I think he'll probably enter right around week 5 when they play the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, the first 4 games are listed here. Miami Dolphins, one of the best defenses in the NFL. Buffalo Bills, do we really want to throw him against Josh Allen in his first NFL start? Tennessee Titans, do we really want him to keep up with Derrick Henry in his first NFL start? And LA Rams, do we want to throw him against Aaron Donald in his first NFL start? Bengals, not to make fun of them and blow them off and say they're nothing, but I do think that's an easier start for Justin Fields to creep into. So I'd love to start him week 1, but I think they're going to give Andy Dalton a chance in the first quarter of the season, and we see Justin Fields roll in at week 5 against the Bengals. And then best for last, not to me actually, Mac Jones with the New England Patriots. This is one I don't think he starts at all this season. Maybe if he is the next Tom Brady that people just want to hope he is, but I think they're going to roll Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton's going to have a better year, having year 2 with the New England Patriots. He's going to have more experience and more chemistry with this team. He's going to have better players to work with, a better O-line, more chemistry. And like I said, the receivers are going to be much better between Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, and the defense to rely on is much better. Getting Dante Hightower back, getting Kyle Van Noy, Devon Godshaw, getting Christian Barmore, Stephon Gilmore, Jalen Mills. It's going to be a lot better defense to rely on, and Cam Newton's not going to have to, really win the games, I think, for the team. I think the Patriots roster is going to be not good enough to win the games. And Cam Newton, all he has to do is be a game manager. I think he can fill that role. As long as the Patriots are winning games, I don't think they're going to be considering starting other quarterbacks, and therefore I don't think Mac Jones will get a start this year. If Cam Newton is playing awful, then maybe, but I seriously think we'll see Cam start the entire year. If I had to pick when he'd come in, I'd probably be after the bye, or if Cam was just being god-awful. But to me, I don't think we see Mac Jones this year. But as always, guys, I do want to hear your opinions. Where do you think each of these quarterbacks, or when do you think each of these quarterbacks should start? I got Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson in week 1. Trey Lance, whenever he's ready. I know that's not very specific, but to me, Jimmy G is going to be good enough for the season, and same thing goes for Cam Newton and the Patriots. I think Cam Newton's going to be good enough for the season. Did not see Mac Jones start. And Justin Fields, I'd like to see him either week 1 or week 5 against the Bengals. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.